Hi everybody, welcome back to Makeup for Beginners. This video is going to be all about eyebrows, how to naturally define your brows for beginners if you've never done it before. Like with my foundation video, I'm going to show you two methods. So the first thing I like to grab is a mascara spoolie, and this is an essential tool for brows. I just keep hold of an old mascara wand. Just give it a really good wash with soap and water, some sort of disinfecting soap like hand wash or fairy liquid, and it will be like new and you can use it for your brows. So you might find when you're doing your makeup that a lot of powder and foundation and stuff can settle in the brows, and brushing through them just makes sure they're all kind of going in the same direction and you really know what you're working with. So I'm going to be using a pencil first, and this is probably the easiest thing to use. With pencil you really want to practice feathering, so imagine literally drawing in brow hairs. So you want a really light hand, don't be like gripping the pencil, just hold it and just really gently flick upwards in the direction of the brow growth. This is the Soap and Glory Archery pencil, and this one is great because it's retractable so you don't have to sharpen it, and it's also a tiny little nib that comes out. With the sharpening brow pencils, they do work great, but you have to keep them sharp. Having a blunt brow pencil is just a recipe for disaster because you're not going to get those fine hair stroke look if you're not using a sharp pencil. So I always like the retractable ones. You can really trick the illusion of hairs and it looks really natural if you're careful. Just be patient and you can always go back and add a few more. Also, you just want to keep looking straight on into a mirror because you want to see your brow in terms of your whole face. So as you might be able to see, the pencil has defined my brows really subtly, and it's just framed this side of my face so much more than this side where I've not done anything. I tend to think dark hair, as in dark brown, brunettes, black hair, looks better with slightly lighter brows, a slightly lighter colour on the brow, and I think blondes and lighter hair looks better with slightly darker brows than the hair colour. Obviously that's not a hard and fast rule. You can do whatever you want. I just personally think that blondes with dark brows looks really good, and with dark brown hair it's just best to still have brown eyebrows. I would never recommend going like really dark black with your eyebrows just because it can look a little bit too harsh if you are wanting to get a natural look. So just keep that in mind if you're a beginner. When I'm done, I'm just gonna brush through again. This just sort of blends the product into your eyebrow hairs. So obviously you want to make sure your brow product is completely matte. You don't want any shimmer in it. You can get specific brow products like an eyeshadow in a pan, but that's all it is. It is just an eyeshadow. It's not any different in terms of formula as long as it's really matte and pigmented. So I do use eyeshadows in palettes. I just kind of gauge the colour first and see if it's going to be suitable. So this is really beat up because I dropped it from the Soap and Glory quad. It's the Lid Stuff quad in What's Nude, and the shade is called Mud Honey. It's like a matte kind of medium to dark brown. The good thing about powder is it blends, so you can just use a tiny bit and really work it through. You don't have to keep going back and forth if you don't want to. I like my angled brush to be short and stubby with really firm bristles. You want to make sure it's not soft and going to move around too much because you want to be able to completely control the brush strokes and really sculpt out that brow. A lot of them also come with a spoolie on the other end as well, which is a really good 2-in-1. So I'm going to dip the very tips of the bristles into the product and tap off the excess just like I would with eyeshadow. To get that softer look, I always start underneath, and then what I do to colour in the top bit is actually get the brush and push upwards. So a little bit of a different technique to what we've been doing. If you have really sparse brows, you can just use the same technique as the pencil in terms of doing the flicks, because that will draw in strokes with your angled brush. However, as my brows are quite full, I'm going to do it like this. I just want to show you like a few different things I like to do, and then you can really trial and error it and find what works for you. When I get to this top part, I like to just follow it down to the tail. If you feel like your tail is too short, you can just go over the edge slightly to extend it. That's really good to do if you have like a strong eye makeup, as you want your brow tail to end with your eye makeup. And with powder, I tend to brush with the spoolie as I go, as like I said, you really want to blend the product through, just like you would blend eyeshadow. If you're using a powder brow product, it really needs blending through to make sure it's all even. So in terms of which I actually prefer, I flip between the two, honestly. I didn't used to use pencil until I discovered the retractable like micro brow pencils. I think these are so good if you like a natural brow look. I think powder is really quick, especially if you have already full brows. As you saw just then, I really hardly added any product, but just trial and error it and see which one you prefer. I wanted to mention as well a quick word on colour, and it's so important to pick the right colour for your brow product. Ashy brows are so much more flattering. When you're looking at your brow products, you want a cool toned brown or like a cool taupe colour. If you're blonde, Omega from MAC, the eyeshadow is amazing for blondes. I will try and list like a few good recommendations from different brands and budgets below. Be mindful of the shade selection as well. If you're wanting, you know, a really natural look, you don't want to steer too far away from your natural colour, but you might want to go a little bit lighter if you're brunette or a little bit darker if you're blonde. If you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please subscribe to my channel. I post videos every Monday and Friday, and I'm going to try posting an extra one kind of most Wednesdays. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm going to try and work really hard for you guys, and I hope to see you in my next video.